If you're listening to this, please like and subscribe for good luck. If you like and subscribe, you'll get immediate super good luck. It's going to be insane. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be like magic. You're going to be like, how did I get such good luck? Also, if you comment luck in the comment section, you'll get super good luck. It's like a fact. It's been tested by scientists, and it's a fact. So, there you go. So, also, if you listen to the whole 30 minutes, then you will also get good luck. And in exchange for you doing that, I'll make it like try to make it not super boring. So that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen right now. And my advice is to listen like while you're doing something else. Like you can be cooking or you can be playing chess or Risk on your phone or something. And that makes it more fun, I think, with like stuff like this where you just listen to like a thing that's like entertainment, kind of, I guess. But yeah, that's my spiel. I wonder if that will help me out because I don't know, these long 30-minute recordings. I basically turn these recordings into like 10 or maybe 15. 15 would be nice. Shorts. I turn them into YouTube shorts. And that's been the current strategy. And these 30-minute recordings do just horrible. They get like no views. I think maybe one view so far. So from like one view from like not myself rewatching to clip it up in the shorts. So it'd be neat if it were to get more views. But we'll see what happens. My assumption is just that if I keep making them, then eventually they'll get views. Like if I make, so I'm making like one a day. If I make 100, or if I make like 300, then I assume I'll get like at least 100 views per video by the end of that like period. Well, let's see. 20 views. If I could get 20 views that aren't myself, and then if they listen to just 10 minutes, then that would be really cool. I mean, the end goal with this is basically just for it to be like, so I can work 1 hour a day and not have to go work a real job. And I could just talk into the microphone for 30 minutes. And then so it's like an hour, because then it's like I edit it slightly. It's more like 40 minutes. It takes like 10 minutes to edit. So that would be so awesome. And then maybe I would do like an hour if people wanted that, but that's so far down the road. I'm just speaking truths here. That's basically the whole thing. It's laid out there. So what am I going to talk about? I guess I'm going to talk about, well, I already talked about this. Just the honest situation on this. So that's been discussed. I could talk about heat. So I guess I'll talk about the temperature. When it's hot out, that's fine. But when it's hot out for like the whole summer, like it is on the West Coast, it's just dry and hot and there's no rain in the Pacific Northwest, where I'm used to it being like rainy, or at least a little bit rainy. I feel like people overemphasize the raininess of the Pacific Northwest. I don't think it's that rainy. It's rainy, but it's like light rain. Okay, so if you go into the southern states, then it's way more rainy. And also a lot of people hate the rain, but I'll tell you what, the rain is actually good. It feels pleasant and it's nice to run in. But that is a sidetrack. So let me get back to the main track, which is the sunny days. So it's hot out. So it's the sunny days. They get boring, and it makes grass die. The grass in my yard is dead. But it's only dead because we had to turn off the sprinkler system because we had to fix our washing machine and it ended up being a pipe problem or something, so we had to turn off the sprinklers. So that's that. That's why my grass is dead. But as far as the heat goes, again, it just kills grass and it's boring and it's too hot. It gives you sunburns. I have to wear sunscreen when I go out to run now. Um, of course, if I ran earlier in the day, then I wouldn't have to do that. But I don't know. I don't love putting on sunscreen every day because I hear that it's bad for your skin because of the chemicals. So that is something to think about with that. I don't know if you guys use sunscreen often. The thing with sunscreen is you only need to, you can look at the UV index on the weather app, all right? And if it's like moderate, then I don't think you really need sunscreen. But if it's high, then you do. So what I've basically figured out for myself, you should. This isn't an official statement, so I don't want to get sued. But basically, you don't need to use sunscreen if it's after 3:40 o'clock, because then it goes to like moderate, and you only need to start at 11 a.m. So it's really just like 11 a.m. to 3:30, and then you don't need to wear sunscreen after that. So it's like a small window. Any other time of the day, I think sunscreen is optional. So there you go on that. Now you have the sunscreen facts. You have the facts about sunscreen. But do I have anything else to say about weather? Well, not necessarily weather, but summer. During the summer, you don't have school, and when you don't have school, you have time. And what are you gonna do with that time? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing like meditation, exercise, training for a marathon, exercise, journaling, these little recordings, which are fun and hopefully lead to a fruitful outcome. I'll say this. Um, as far as like money goes, I kind of believe, and I was thinking about it, I was contemplating, I was like, how do you make money? I really believe that it's a matter of production. So if you want to be like entrepreneurial, what you want to do is you just want to, if you create new stuff and you create more stuff, then that's value. Okay, so then there's a monetary, you get money from that basically. If you provide value, then you can make money from that. So that's basically why I'm doing these. It's like if you make content every day for a year, then eventually you'll probably get some kind of fruit. Probably something will come of that. Unless it's really bad stuff, which this might be, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it's fine. I think it's enough to get to. I think it's good enough to make like $20, $100 a year, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That would be cool. I would like that. Also, like writing a book, and then if I could write if you write 3 books a year, then you can probably make some money from that. I mean, shit, 3 books a year. I mean, if 10 years, that's $30. If you don't make $10 from that, that's crazy. So the idea is doing stuff like that so that I don't have to get a job, or that I can make my own schedule or stuff like that. Because creating freedom is very important to me. It might not be important to everybody. And also, there's something to be said for the idea that people who work like a minimum wage job, I know the term wagey gets thrown around, but I don't think that's very fair. I think a job like that can be satisfying, and the simple life is very good. So those jobs get a lot of shit for no reason. Also, money isn't that valuable. The most valuable thing about money that it can give you is freedom, and freedom isn't necessarily valuable. So as long as I think a minimum wage job is fine, is what I'm saying. Basically, if you find one that you like, then that's great, because you basically live where you work, because that's where you are most of the day. Actually, something I've thought about is if somebody has a job that involves working in a place that's kind of luxurious, then they basically live a luxurious life, or they associate themselves with that. For example, if somebody works as somebody that's like in a hotel and they're in like the lounge, they work in the lounge of the hotel and they have like a nice position there, a desk there or something, then they're going to have like a higher, their life is going to seem like kind of luxurious because they're in a luxurious setting and they're interacting with luxurious level people, kind of, so they're in that higher wealth world, even though they don't have as much money. But it's basically the same because that's where they are most of the day. Like, the only difference between them is that one goes to sleep in a bigger house, but they're both day to day in the same spot. Of course, one of them is serving the other, but regardless of that, I think you get the idea. So moving on, I guess I'll talk about America then. And, the reason I'm going to talk about America is because I just looked up and I saw an American flag taped to a stuffed animal of a bald eagle. This is something that I have in my room and I'm looking at it now. And it has brought me to the topic of America. So let's discuss. America is a good country. I like it. I made a video about how it's actually doing good. And how it's actually doing better than most people think. Because it is doing good, and it is doing better than most people think. In fact, right before I started recording, I saw a news headline that said that J.P. Morgan has credited Bidenomics, Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, with the economic success that is happening in the country right now. So the country is doing good. It's getting better and better. And I think that's a great thing. And I think we'll see more of that regardless of who the next president is. I'm really thinking that whoever wins, whether it be Biden, DeSantis, or Trump, I think whoever wins, I think the economy is going to do well. I really do. And it's one of those things where people get nervous about America doing well, but I'll tell you this. America geographically is in the best spot of any country on earth. And that's a fact. And you can look into that and you'll see what I mean. It's like we have access to 2 oceans. We have a nice large plot of land, lots of natural resources, limited borders, and great relations with Canada and decent relations with Mexico. So just a lot of good stuff going for America as far as everything goes. And so America does well, and it's going to continue to do well. Even if something weird happened, like the government fell, America would still do well. Like the area and the people who live here would do well. My voice was struggling there. Talking a lot makes your voice kind of get tired or struggle or whatever. That's fine, though. I'm going to power through it. But as far as America and Canada go, people will say, oh, Canada's actually better than America. But I'll tell you this. America's GDP per capita is way higher than Canada's. And that's a fact. It's like 20,000 higher. It's like 50,000 Canada, 70,000 America. And, I used to hear often that like people made it seem like Canada's GDP per capita, which is just like the average amount of money somebody has. They made it seem like Canada's was higher, but it's just not. It's not even close. And I think people should think about that when they say stuff like Canada is better or something. But I don't think people are saying that as much now. I don't think people are saying Canada is way better as much now because a lot of people in Canada don't. A lot of people in Canada right now are very frustrated with Trudeau. And I don't even know why. I don't really follow Canadian politics very much. All I know is this: Trudeau has been president there for a long time. I can't remember when he wasn't. I don't know who their leader was before him, to be honest. Um, and and also I don't know how important Canada is on the international stage. I'll say I saw a video where Xi Jinping kind of was irritated with Trudeau, and that was interesting. I don't know where they're top 10 maybe. I think top 15 I would expect. I would expect them to be in the top 15. But and they have a lot of land, but they don't have many people, so that's probably the main. I mean, that's the reason why they wouldn't be in the top 10. America has a huge population. That's why our like GDP total is so huge. It's because we have a lot of people. We have like almost 400 million people actually. So as far as that goes, so what should I talk about next? These are totally unplanned. I'm not planning any of these. I just get a microphone and I hit record. And then whatever happens, happens after that. And a lot of the prompts come from just looking around my room. I was meaning to read I'll say this. There's a lot of books that I've been meaning to read. Sometimes I'll start a book and not finish it. And you know what that causes? Anxiety. It's not good. Because then it feels like an unresolved problem, kind of. It's like, oh, I still got to read that. But I mean, if I stopped reading it, then maybe it's not. Maybe it's fine not to finish it, and that's what I kind of think is like. If I didn't finish it, it's fine. Because if I still don't want to finish it, then I mean that just tells me that it was not the kind of thing to finish. It's not worth. I mean, maybe I should finish it, but it's definitely not the kind of thing that I should stress out about. Because books are basically entertainment. Some books transcend that level, but usually not. And a lot of books for school, you can just look at summaries for and pass the test. Unless you're in like a really fancy class. College might be different. And, so I'm looking at my books. I'll tell you this. I've been saying that a lot. I keep saying, I'll tell you this. Maybe I should stop saying that. I don't want to be too repetitive. But I will tell you this. The current CEO of Disney is Bob Iger, and I read his book where I listened to it because I find that listening to an audiobook gets me to finish it faster because I can just listen while I cook and do other things around the house. And I can listen at 2 times speed. But I listened to his book, and he had a good career. He kept getting promoted, resilience, had problems, overcame them, etc. He basically just kept getting promoted during the whole book. But it was like, oh, now I'm getting promoted, and now I'm getting promoted. It was good for him, I guess. But, he had his legacy all secured, and now he's back at Disney, and they're doing horrible. Disney Plus is doing bad. The parks are doing bad. He really should have just stayed retired. Because he ended his legacy as one of the best CEOs ever. Their stock price went up a lot while he was CEO. Like, he did a great job. Now it's like half of what it was at its peak. It was at 200 per share, and now it's at 100 per share. So, no good. No good for him, and no good for the shareholders. But we'll see what happens. I bet they'll fix things up enough that'd be good. The only reason I really care is I like their content, so I want them to do well so they make good content. But maybe their content's been bad recently, so maybe this is kind of what they get for bad content. Like, you make bad content, you lose money. That's kind of a fair system. I mean, capitalism is basically fair. I really do think it rewards quality. Quality products do well. And also it rewards brand loyalty. So if a company is able to create brand loyalty, then they'll do very well. I feel like Amazon doesn't have brand loyalty, but they have a great product. But Disney had really strong brand loyalty for a long time. I think they do a good job of instilling that in children as well. If they grow up watching like the Disney Channel, like I did, and you watch the movies, it's like they're good movies. I still like them. I use Disney Plus a lot. And I enjoy it. Okay, I stepped out, but now I'm back. I don't know if you could notice that on the listening end, but I doubt anybody's listening anyway, so it's fine. Now that I'm back, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I know I was talking about Disney Plus. It's a good, I was saying that I use it a lot, which is true. I do use it a lot. It's good. Sometimes I think they should make a streaming service for like books or audiobooks, but I guess they kind of have with Audible. Audible's a good service. You can find a lot of free audiobooks online though, so I recommend doing that first. Like, there's so many free audiobooks, you might as well not even get involved with Audible. Those are my thoughts on that. So I have like 8 minutes left. 8 minutes left to, talk about things. So I think I'm just gonna talk about a bunch of stuff that's easy to clip up, basically. Because you know what? That's basically the strat until people start listening to these 30-minute talks, which they may never do. But I'll tell you this, I listen to them and I like them. I like the 30-minute talks. And they're fun to make and they're fun to... I have fun listening to them. Maybe it's just because I like my ideas. Which is true, I like my ideas. What can I say? Actually, speaking of ideas, I took a personality quiz or something. It cost money. It cost like $15, and I did it for this organization, a nonprofit thing. And basically, you self-report your answers, so it's like, I don't know, it might be biased or guided or whatever, but I didn't know what it was going to be used for. But I basically scored in the way where I was like, usually people have variety, some here, some there. But I scored heavily like idea. Like, my skill set is just coming up with ideas. And I think that basically is true. I'm an idea guy. I was feeling energetic at the time, so I rose my hand and I said, "What can I say? I'm an idea man." And it got laughs, and I was like, "Oh wow," you got that little dopamine kick from getting support from like the other people. That's the whole thing. If you say a good joke and then a bunch of people laugh, you just feel kind of good. You feel like you did a service to everybody. You spread your fun, energetic vibe, and you're maybe going to get treated better afterwards because maybe people like you more after that. I mean, it's good to get treated better. It's good if you have something to say and people listen. And people are only going to listen if they care. Or if they at least care about being respectful. And people generally, they don't just do that automatically. I mean, they may want to, but they're not going to, because you only have so much time in your day. You don't want to be listening to everybody say all their crap all the time. I mean, right now, if you're listening, then you're listening to my crap. but usually people don't do that. So I went to the bathroom, and when I went to the bathroom, I thought, well, I think I might talk about deodorant when I get back. So I guess I'm going to talk about that now. I have an area in my room, like a shelf, where I have my deodorant on like a display almost. Well, I mean it is a display, and I've got Gillette. I've got Gillette antiperspirant, and I've got Old Spice Timber, and I've got an American Eagle cologne, and I've got Swagger Old Spice Swagger body spray. I like the Old Spice products. They actually smells good, in my opinion. And it's all like the same company. I'm pretty sure that Axe is owned by the same company as Old Spice, but they have different smells. So I used to do anti-person. I was about to say non-profit deodorant, but I don't do that. I used to have antiperspirant deodorant that I used, but now I don't think it really does anything. So now I just say, you know what? If I sweat, I sweat, and I don't care very much. And I actually don't sweat that much. And I just use the deodorant, just plain deodorant, and it's been good, and it smells good, and it's easier to apply because the antiperspirant is like weirder. It's like a chalky, not chalky, but it's like it's not smooth. It's not like a gel. It's like a white thing. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, if you know, you know. But the normal deodorant is it's like clear, and it's like a gel. And then the antiperspirant is just like this white thing. Anyway, so I like applying the normal deodorant more. And yeah, I like the Old Spice. Right now I'm using the Old Spice Timber, and I like it. It's good. I was once complimented on the way I smell, and I think it was just because of that deodorant. So, very proud of that. Oh, it looks like I have an Axe body spray as well. Maybe I should use that today before I go to the arcade. May just have to do that. I saw a video once when I was younger that was like an Axe body spray like ad. I don't know if it was actually an ad, but it was Tobuscus, and it was like he wore the Axe body spray, and then women were like chasing him, and it was like, wow. It was kind of a fun concept for a video. But yeah, it made me want the product, to be honest. But I was like 9 at the time. I don't know. It was back when he was really popular. Now Tobuscus isn't even that popular. It doesn't even make sense. I did a horrible job talking about things that I can make into shorts this recording session. I don't know what I'm going to make into a short. I could talk about, well, I mean, what makes a good short? Talking about movies makes good shorts. But I made shorts about the Barbie movie, and those got no views and no likes. Usually what I find is if you say stuff that's like a good idea that people agree with, that gets likes, which gets views. But I don't have any ideas like that right now about common topics. Well, I could talk about a thing. I'm looking right now. I have a rock. I have a stone, a crystal on next to my bed. I'll talk about that for a second. It's there. My grandma gifted it to me. It's supposed to open your crown chakra. I remember when she got it, I thought this is kind of weird. But now I love it. And it kind of looks nice. And also I have some Hawaiian leis next to it. It's almost like a little shrine. It's kind of fun. It's like my little way of decorating my bedroom, I guess. I also have a bunch of Crocs. I have like 4 pairs of Crocs in this room. I have like 6 total. Because I was really into Crocs for a while. Crocs are a good product I was talking about brand loyalty earlier. They definitely have brand loyalty. I was loyal to it. I was gifted it by my elder sister. I was gifted my first pair of Crocs, and since then I've just been really into them, I guess, but I don't wear them as much anymore. Actually, that's not true. I wear them almost every time I go out, just because they're easy to slip on. But there was a period where I didn't wear Crocs at school because I was worried that my feet would smell bad and get sweaty, and then people would have to deal with my smelly feet at school, which would suck. So, yeah. Well, I think I'm done now. So, thanks for listening. If you listened to the whole thing, then that's incredible and amazing, and I doubt it happened. So, thanks for listening. The end.